From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing, this is World of Wonder's Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome to the Wow Report here on Radio Andy. We're here every week to count down the top 10 things that made us go wow. I'm Tom Campbell. I am sitting in for Fenton Bailey, who is somewhere around the world. I'm not going to tell you where. He'll tell you when he comes back, always traveling. And I'm joined this week, as every week, by Club Kid, best-selling author, James St. James.
Woo! It's the Club Kurd.
Really excited. The number one Kurd, the biggest Kurd there is, Randy Barbado, co-founder of World of Wonder, in the house. Hey, Randy. And of course, Blake is here, behind the scenes, but pop up anytime, Blake. You are our Parker Posey. You are our tsunami.
No. Hyper, no.
All right. Let's start off the countdown at number 10.
Number 10.
What a shitty week. And that's putting it mildly. But one of several rays of light, which I'm trying to focus on today, one of them is in pop culture, and that is Mid-Century Modern. It's the new multi-camera sitcom from the creators of Will and Grace. It's on Hulu. The bad envelope is like, it's gay Golden Girls, but it stars Nathan Lane, Nathan Lee Graham, Matt Bomer, the late Linda Lavin. Oh my God, I just can't believe I just got the feels. And it's a success. It works. It's all 10 episodes are available on Hulu to watch. It's a bit of a nail biter because just full disclosure, we're all friends with Max and David, and we're rooting for them. And this is something, you even feel it politically, if you didn't know them, that this is a time where any kind of gay representation on a mainstream streamer is really important. While multi-camera sitcoms are a mainstay on streaming, the kids love the Friends, the Big Bang Theory. They're incredibly hard to create new ones because you have to sort of invest time. And you remember, it's in networks, you get 26 episodes if you were lucky. It would be a long time to grow and to build. They have these 10 episodes to make you fall in love with these characters and make you laugh out loud. And I think they were super successful. At first, it's a little bit like, it's sitcom tropes. But I got to tell you, by the third episode, I am so deeply in. Some episodes are better than others, which is part of sitcoms too. Well, the first thing is the Linda Lavin factor, which is there's all these.
What happens now? Where do they go without Linda?
I think they proved it. Well, first of all, for those who haven't watched, been doing, I'm no spoilers, but Linda died, I think, before there was 2 episodes left to do. But because it's set in Palm Springs, because they make all these jokes, she's the mean mother kind of thing, the tough as nails mother, but there's episodes about her passing. About that character passing. It's like, Mom, when you die, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, because we know that Linda has passed. I feel like the serious, quote unquote, serious scenes with humor are almost the most effective. And there's a scene with Rhea Perlman and Linda Lavin at the country club, and their friend has gone to one of those homes, one of those facilities. And they're their plot revolves around letting her empty chair go. Like they won't let it go. And there's the most beautiful line, which is so gay and so relatable, because they said, they were picking at each other, Linda Lavin and Rhea Perlman's character. And they said, you know what, we've been so bitchy to each other because we're afraid that's going to happen to us, that we're going to end up in a home. I don't want to go to a home. And Linda Lavin says, that's never going to happen to us. You know why? Because we have gay sons. The gay sons will take care of them. So, and then I want to hear what you guys say, but the inside scoop, I think he told Randy this too, but Linda Lavin was diagnosed with lung cancer and died just a few, I think, weeks later. And she wasn't feeling well. She thought she had the sinuses. Her husband was driving her down the PCH to the doctor, and she passed away in the passenger seat. Oh. And they pulled over and were waiting for the ambulance, whatever. And he called Max. He was just waiting there. And he said, she's next to me. And he told Max what she said to him in her last words. And those are the same words that Nathan Lane says about his mother on the sitcom. There's a funeral thing. So it's.
Did you cry?
I had the tingly tears. Yes, I had the. Yes, a little bit of moaning.
The vapors.
What have you seen? What do you like?
Well, I went into it. Maybe I was in a cranky mood. I don't know. But that first pilot episode did not work for me at all. I thought it was clunky, and I was thinking this isn't going to work. I just did not like it. But I stuck with it. Second episode, I was there. Third episode, I'm really starting to get into it. By the fourth episode, I loved every scene, every second, every actor. I just thought it's spectacular. I thought the Matt Bomer character is hysterical. Nathan Lane, so good. And the Black Queen, Nathan, what's his name?
Nathan Lee Graham.
Nathan Lee Graham. Fenton and I saw Nathan Lee Graham in Titanic with Lisa, our MSNBC producer friend. She took us to go see Titanic in September, and he played Rose's mother as Eartha Kitt. And we all just kept saying, this guy is gold. He's just hysterical. And I hadn't thought, I hadn't thought of him until I saw him again, and I was like, oh my God. So if they let this guy really unleash his bonkers sense of humor in the show as the seasons go on, you've got gold. You've just got, it's magic.
Did you guys watch it all in one day? Did you?
Yes.
2 chunks, 2 days.
I think I still have 2 episodes left, in fact. So,
oh my goodness. Well, the last episode, I don't know for a fact, I'm just guessing as a viewer, that the third episode kind of tells you what it's going to be like next season. Like it's an episode without Linda. I'll just say the 2 storylines that blew me away were when Zane Phillips played the Mormon groom who was gay and was going to get married anyway, and Matt Bomer's character is a former Mormon who got shamed, and I love that thing. And then there was a scene of Fire Island Bar where Nathan Lee Graham's character meets him like 20-30 years ago, like this young, acid, sharp queen who was just loved all of his negativity and Nathan, the arc ultimately is Nathan saying to him, just be careful you don't become that, just that. Like have some love, have some soul. So I think the intergenerational wisdom that's passed along in this, and also the Nathan Lane character, while he's an underdog, he's not a loser. You know what I'm saying? He's out there dating. He's got his family. It's got that warm fuzzy that I love. And I've never seen it in this way.
The fact that it's the scenes are bite-sized. There's it feels like it's punchy, it goes fast, and there's and I haven't seen that in a lot of sitcoms where it's just like these little 3-minute scenes or 5-minute scenes that are so good.
And they are pushing the envelope in terms of what's talked about on sitcoms. They are. And the last thing, it's like Richard Kind, Vanessa Bayer, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Judd Hirsch, Billy Lord, Sherry O'Terry, Rory Parman. Great cameos, the way they used to do it on Will and Grace. So I've let Max know, and now I'm letting Hulu know versus the show. I'm going to order 26 for next season. Season 2, 26, Mid-Century Modern, currently playing on Hulu. You got to watch it. You don't have to be gay to watch it.
But it helps.
It helps. It never hurts. It never hurts to be gay in my book. Let's move on to number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9, I want to sort of bring it down a little bit because we lost a legendary club personality, a legendary club kid, goth kid, the infamous Boom Boom, who I've known for 25 years or so. He's been out in Phoenix, and I just have 2 quick stories that I want to tell about Boom Boom. He was dark. He was a big boy. He was 600 or 700 pounds at his heaviest, and brought that to the stage and was naked on stage doing things. And at one point, he flew Theron and I out to Phoenix for the blood feast in the desert. It was every year they did a blood feast, and he was going to be naked on stage with some theatrical blood that he was going to cover himself with. Blah blah blah. It's a typical thing. Well, he didn't tell anyone, but instead of getting theatrical blood, which is corn syrup and red dye, he went to the butcher and got actual cow's blood and cow entrails. Okay. And he started to cover himself on stage and then throw it into the audience, to spray the audience with the blood. And of course, everyone thinks that it's fake blood, so they're all rushing forward to get covered in the blood. Ha ha ha. Well, I don't know if you know how bad actual cow's blood smells, and the entrails smell. And people are covered in it, and they start retching and they start vomiting. And It's the desert, so all of a sudden the temperature starts to go down to like 40 degrees. People are shivering, covered in cow entrails, and when I tell you that ended the blood feasts, pretty much. But people 15 years later are still talking about it, so God bless
Is
them.
that where mad cow disease came from, do you think?
I think everyone was pretty mad at that cow.
Well,
I'll tell
James
you
also
what.
remember he was on
So-
Transformation.
Well, that's my second story I was going to tell, because he was on Transformations. He and his friends came, and unbeknownst, they were doing my makeup, and unbeknownst to me, they had these large buckets of pudding that they had put like food color in, like red and green and yellow. Well, so what happens is at some point during the transformation, they pour a bucket of like red pudding on top of me, and I'm like, it's freezing, first of all, right? And then they pour another bucket on me, and I can't see and I can't breathe, and so I leap up, and when I leap up, I slip on the pudding floor and go down and fracture my wrist and crack my head, cow, like that. And you see on camera Boom Boom and his friends, the look of horror that they've just killed James St. James on camera, right? For that's the first look, and then off camera you hear Pete and Theron burst into hysterics like hyenas, because nothing is. Oh, you were there too, Blake. Were you laughing?
Course.
Nothing is funnier than seeing James get hurt to these three hyenas. So
Now, if we cut to a clip right now, is it going to reinforce this story, or is it going to reinforce the notion that you might exaggerate a little?
No. You will see. We can even put some pictures up of me covered in pudding, because it's so anyway. And sadly, he was taking care of his mother who had dementia, and there was a bit of a hoarding situation going on, and so there's and the mother now doesn't really understand what's going on, and so they've set up a GoFundMe page. If you just go to GoFundMe, infamous Boom Boom, there's maybe you can donate to help put her into some sort of assisted living or something, because it's just
Boom, boom. Rest in peace, rest in power, rest in cow entrails.
Rest in pudding.
Oh, there you go. You did it. You saved it. Thank you. We're at number 8.
Number 8.
Okay, guys, I didn't watch Mid-Century yet because I'm behind on all my viewing, and I've just gotten to White Lotus, and I know you've talked about it endlessly, but do you mind talking about it a little bit more with me?
This show is called the White Lotus Talk Endlessly Show, aka the Wild Report.
I just want to start by saying I love Mike White.
Yes,
I just have loved him forever, since Chuck and Buck, since Pasadena, since Enlightened. I mean, he has such an amazing body of work, and he's this voice that I think we have to protect. It's just singular, and there aren't that many people out there who have the kind of vision he does. And it's so exciting that he's also directing so many of these episodes, like almost all of them. It is the full vision of this series, the music, the cinematography, just the artistry of it is beyond what one could imagine. And by the way, I hated it at the beginning because here's the thing. I don't really like darkness. And it's so dark this season. And the one thing I would ask Mike White is do a next season, make it bright. Consider sunshine. And
the Laban girl today did an interview. The girl who's friends with the toothy girl.
oh yeah.
She said that by the end of next episode, you are going to hate Mike White. You are going to be
I'm sure it's like I'm dreading where it's going. But this is just the fact that someone who I really do not watch, like, I don't know, because life is too short and where we are, but that I can be drawn in, I think is such a testament to his brilliance and skill and artistry. And
I think because you end up loving each and every one of them so much that's where the brightness is.
and that they actually, there are so many characters and you are invested and there are actual arcs.
Yeah.
It is so, to do that in such a short period of time is pretty, I don't know, it's so
I know.
challenging. And those actors are so good. The actors like really like Schwarzenegger, who you hate, and then you're like, oh my God, let me, you want to rescue him.
Yeah, broken boy. I do not care for the father. That storyline stalled in episode 2 and they dragged it out for another 7 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, fasten your seatbelts because I think something big is going to be happening.
I think the blender prediction is pretty accurate.
Someone online was just saying that blender has been too prominent not to factor into the ending.
Yeah.
And he reaches for one of those. He reaches into that poisonous fruit tree in a little glimpse of the trailer.
And the only other thing I'll say is, I read this. No original thoughts here. That in the first 2 seasons of White Lotus, the person who died, it didn't really deeply affect anybody in the cast.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nobody, but like they were sort of characters unto themselves. This season, the 3 best girlfriends, the family, the lovers, there's so many. Like when something you lose one of those people, maybe more. I don't know what's going on.
And guy talk.
Tear people apart.
The little security guy who's
Oh my
just
God.
so inept. He's so inept at his job. Oh
It's
my
so
God.
sad. But just one other thing, the overall darkness of it, yes, but the darkness of the ideas and themes, the incest, the story of the guy who then does drag and then has this fantasy. These are ideas.
Episode, yes.
These are ideas you do not see anywhere on anything. Like you read in a book, maybe in a James St. James book. That's where these ideas
Honey, that monologue, I swear, never in the history of television has there been anything like that before. It was bizarre.
But it also kind of made sense, didn't it?
It did. I don't know. I hang around with grungier people than you guys because I hear confessional stories a lot. Not that particular story, but the human, they say if you can think of it, it's been done. It's been done.
Yes.
There you go. Start thinking. Oh no, stop. No.
Well, I think I need to start hanging out with your friends, Tom. I didn't know.
Well, you'd have to give up drinking. You'd have to give up drinking to go where I go. I'm just teasing. Or just have a desire to. There's no pressure. So it's the White Lotus. It's the grand finale of the Sunday. It's a 90-minute episode. Buckle in. I agree with you about the darkness thing. I allow that to be my dark place. I don't see a bunch of dark things. I will go there. And I love those 3 girls so much.
And there are so many moments of levity in it too, that it sort of balances out.
Yes, and it's camp. On top of all of that, it's camp. Her whipping out the Barbara Streisand book. It's just it's like check, 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 check. It delivers on every level.
All right, you heard it here. White Lotus. We are going to take a little break. Don't go anywhere. We have so many more things to count down and talk about. But before we go, Blake, you got anything to talk about?
I do. I have a question for you guys. What president was born Leslie Lynch King Jr.?
It's good to know.
Right.
We'll have the answer to that question and so much more when the Wow Report returns on Radio Andy.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Hey, welcome back to the Wow Report here on Radio Andy. It's Tom Campbell, James St. James, Blake Jacobs, and Fillion Fenton Bailey, the co-founder of World of Wonder, Randy Barbado. We had a little question from Blake before the commercial break. Hit us, Blake.
What president was born Leslie Lynch King Jr.?
I have no idea.
What if I told you he was the 38th president?
Oh, yeah.
That would help me a lot.
Is this Bush the first?
No.
Lyndon Johnson?
No.
Calvin Coolidge.
No. It was Gerald Ford.
Oh!
Wow.
How did he get to Gerald Ford from that?
Well, his dad apparently wasn't a good guy, and he was adopted. So that's how.
Leslie, what is it? What's this poncy little?
Leslie Lynch King Jr.
Okay.
Gerald Ford was a good guy, by the way. That's one Republican. There could be some good Republicans. He was one of them. Anyway, all right. Thank you for that. Whatever that was, Mike. We are going to continue the countdown with number 7.
Number 7.
I'm going to start each of my segments with the same statement. Boy, it's been a shitty week, but there have been highlights, and the highlight of all, and I didn't even see this when it was happening. It came alive through word of mouth and on social. Cory Booker's Filibuster. Filibuster? I hardly know her. From March 31st to April 1st, for 25 hours, he broke all the records. And it's symbolic. I don't know if the world has changed, but I think all of us, Randy, you have a really good theory about leadership right now, but we're all like, where's the leader? Who's stepping up? Where's our voice? And, there are a bunch of voices, right? I mean, talk about that, Randy.
No, I just think it's okay to be anxious right now about where's the voice, because we need a whole bunch of them, and we need the winners to kind of emerge. So this was a great example of he doesn't, he hasn't earned the crown of the party, but it's like, oh my God, here's a great voice who's reminding us to rise up. And I'm excited for that to continue and for more people to do that. Not necessarily filibuster, but just for more voices to emerge.
I agree, Randy, that it is interesting to see not so much jockeying for power, but just people coming to the forefront right now. You had, the AOC and Bernie Sanders rallies, which were getting a lot of attention. And I don't necessarily think that they should be running for president. But I love them both, but I don't think they can win. I think Hakeem Jeffries is a good person. I think, Cory Booker. There's been
John Ossoff.
I love John Ossoff. Oh, I think Ossoff is awesome in my book. Buttigieg is someone who I will listen to time and time again. There are people out there in the Democratic Party who I've listened to, and I think
Shapiro, Westmore. I think it's exciting.
Tim Walz has been on fire again.
Yeah,
why they didn't utilize him is beyond me. He is hysterical.
My brother has put this in my mind. It's true. It's like for the past several elections, there's been kingmakers in the Democratic Party. It was supposed to be Hillary, and then Obama kicked her. So this is great. Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but like everyone should have a voice. Let AOC, let them all step to the podium. Let's hear their ideas. Yeah. If they don't become president, they are elevated, I hope, in the public knowledge. Booker is an incredible senator. He might be president. He's an incredible senator, and he really showed off. 2 things. He dehydrated himself for several days, did not eat for 2 days, because I thought for sure he was pooping his pants in a diaper. But no, that was just me. And I'm just going to give you a few highlight quotes, because none of us could watch the whole thing, or I didn't. And he started off by saying, I rise with the intention of disrupting the normal business of the United States Senate for as long as I am physically able. 25 hours. And this is my favorite quote, if I could even stop here. If America hasn't broken your heart, then you don't love her enough. He said that before, but this is the idea of, and I think Black Americans know it so well, this is such an imperfect union. There's so much wrong with America, but you can't abandon the hope and the progress and the potential of America. And I just, that makes me tingle. And he said the obvious statement of this isn't about right or left, it's about right or wrong. And he also, he quoted John Lewis, the great patriot, who said, he said that John Lewis wouldn't treat this moral moment like it was normal. Where does the Constitution live? On paper or in our hearts? I'm sorry, but I fall for that kind of stuff. And also, and you mentioned it, we're all scared. We're pre-taping this a little bit. The stock market, not that I'm a stock market guy, but like the stock market speaks to indications, not personal wealth, but like retirement for everybody and everything. So it's like, but he says fear is a necessary precondition to courage. It's true. You got to fear something to go over it. I only have 2 more. I'm sorry. Our American history, if nothing else, is a perpetual testimony to the achievement of impossible things against impossible odds.
By the way, Cory Booker, cousin of RuPaul.
Correctamundo.
Right, yes.
And again, Strom Thurmond's record always just really irked me, he said, that he would be the longest speech, that the longest speech on our great Senate floor was someone who was trying to stop people like me from being in the Senate. So an historical moment. The news cycle will wash this back out to sea, but I just wanted to take a moment to thank Cory Booker for his service, and I look for
Jersey.
It takes a Jerseyite. All right, let's move on in the countdown now to number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6, I went to the theater over the weekend to see Black Bag. What the hell is Black Bag, you say?
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Nobody's ever heard of it before. I was talking to my sister about seeing Snow White. We had made plans. We were going to go to the 11 o'clock a.m. showing at the Grove. I get to there at 11 a.m. My sister says, here are our tickets for Black Bag. What? What in the hell? She said, I didn't want to see Snow White on my day off. Well, son of a bitch.
Smart woman.
So we go see Black Bag. It is Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender. I don't care about Michael Fassbender. I don't like him. But they play glamorous spies, a married couple that are glamorous spies. And she has long wavy hair, and she wears like coffee-colored cashmere and like beige silk blouses. And he wears like Tom Ford horn-rimmed glasses and like tweed jackets with a turtleneck. Anyway, so they're
a black bag.
What?
Do they have
The black bag is a term used in spy agencies when you are doing something that you don't want anyone to know, and someone asks you about it, and you say, "No, that goes in the black bag." Like that means it's off. You cannot talk about it. You zip it up. We are not talking about that. So anyway, it begins with he comes home from work and he says there's been a leak in the office and somebody is in their little pod is a leaker. So they're having a dinner party to suss out who that is. And so they have 6 people around the table, and it's very Noel Coward, and it's very fall. And the jokes are flying fast and furious, and that he's trying to figure out who it is, blah, blah, blah. And it's sort of forensic-y, and you're sort of enjoying it and everything, and you think, oh, this really might go somewhere. It could turn into like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith type thing where it's, spy versus spy. Well, no. When I tell you that it's just talky, and they talk like that, and like you need subtitles because it's like this British accent I've never. I mean, well, it's upper class British accent, blah blah blah. Well, so nothing happens for the entire movie. Regé Jean Pierre, what is his name? Regé Jean, who was in Bridgerton, the really hot guy. He's in it. He sort of spices it up a little bit. Pierce Brosnan is in it, but nothing happens. And then it just sort of ends. And then as it's ending, the credits roll and it says written, produced, and directed by Steven Soderbergh. And you're like, oh, well, of course. This is the most Soderberghian Soderberger that has ever Soderberghed, because it is just, I mean, intolerable. It is just the worst. So I was furious with my sister, and it ruined my whole week.
Well, your sister has just invented a new segment that we're going to do every week, where she meets you in the lobby of a movie theater with a ticket to a movie that you have no idea what it's about, and you don't know who directed it, and then you just come here and tell us about it. That's a way to broaden your horizons, James. What do you think?
I love that.
Yes.
I saw an ad for this, or like a poster, and I really thought it was some new pocket. I thought it was a fashion ad.
You thought it was a Toomey ad.
And Cate Blanchett looking really hot, and I thought she was just promoting some new brand, some new black bag.
I would have been more into it if that was the case.
Well, stay away from Black Bag if you believe James St. James. And who doesn't believe James St. James?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are ready to move on now to number 5.
Number 5.
Well, here's the thing. Did you know that it is the 20th anniversary of YouTube, but also YouTube is the second largest media company in America now, only behind Disney. They made $54 billion this past year. They're the largest the largest aggregator of content, and also they're close to the largest in terms of generating revenue. It's kind of interesting when you think about it, because first of all, when you think about how it started, it was really like the beginning of the whole democratization of media and people self-generating content, and we were all champions of it. I mean, that's how World of Wonder was birthed in many ways. It was like one step up from public access, and now here it is at the forefront and will become the most powerful media company probably next year. And one of the interesting things about it, well, in addition to its history and how it was birthed, is that it's not really built on a brand necessarily. It's like brands aren't that important. Yes, YouTube, you know what it is, but you go there, it's the power of you curating your own content. And Mr.
I go there
Beast,
looking for eating gourmet videos, for instance.
yeah, you go there just hunting, and Mr. Beast is sort of the anomaly of a star that's come out of YouTube or a brand. Otherwise, you're curating your own shit. And I don't know what it means in terms of the future of everything, because it's also, I mean, I sit there watching my kids watch it and I'm like, oh my God, they're like, they surf through it and they're taking things in, and part of me thinks, oh my God, it's the death of civilization. But then I think, no, they're kind of sophisticated.
No. It's the new cable. It's I like the democratization of it, that we're not being fed someone's point of view. We're not being fed narrative. We are able to find it on our own and contribute on our own. I think I spent a lot of time on it. I'm so old fashioned. I've got to kill my cable. And I think I'm going to go to YouTube, because I think you can get TCM, because I still want TCM on YouTube.
My cable bill is $285. Yes. I've got to get rid of it. I do want to say that when it first came out, in 2020, in 2005 probably is what you're thinking.
Yeah.
The blog, the way it revolutionized the WoW Report, and we were able to finally put video on, the blog, was just, it was something that was really made the success of the blog. It was just, I remember just the way Tom was so excited, and Saban was just, it was just over the moon about this.
Yes. Well, YouTube, get there. YouTube. It's interesting that TikTok is about to be purchased by someone. We won't know yet. And my only contribution to this is that QVC this week went live 24/7 on TikTok Shop. So I'll report back on that next week. I didn't have time this week. I'm very busy. We are about to take a break. Don't go anywhere, because we have a lot more to talk about, including this trivia question from Blake Jacobs.
Yes. Besides being fabulous divas, what do Lady Gaga and Reba have in common?
What do Lady Gaga and Reba have in common? Answer that question and more when we return on the WoW Report here on Radio Andy.
You're listening to World of Wonders WoW Report. Things that make us go wow.
We're back. It's the WoW Report on Radio Andy. I'm Tom, here with Randy, James, Blake, counting down the top 10 things that made us go wow. But before break, Blake asked us a little trivia question.
Yeah, I said, besides both being fabulous divas, what do Lady Gaga and Reba have in common?
What could they possibly have in common? This is such hard. One's from Oklahoma, one's from New York.
Was it a previous job they held?
No.
I think they're both natural fire crotches.
That is a really good guess.
They both did duets with Tony Bennett.
That's a good guess too. No, they both share a birthday, which was this Monday.
Oh.
Gaga turned 39 and Reba turned the big 70.
Wow.
And both of their fire crotches are on fire.
Yeah, right now.
Reba's got the sitcom, Reba's got The Voice, and Lady Gaga has come back. Not everybody comes back. Lady Gaga's back. She's bigger than ever.
Well, and Mayhem has the highest album of all of her highest score of all of her albums on Pitchfork, which is amazing.
And again, oversharing. I did. I sang karaoke to "Die with a Smile" this morning before I came to work, and I had trouble finding the key.
Did you top down?
It was in my bedroom before I left. It was it was my little morning absolution. Okay. All
What
right.
were you thinking about?
Me?
Me and the cats. Me and the cats. It was the morning. It's all it's there. All right. We're continuing the countdown. We're at number 4.
Number 4.
Gonna make it quick. Oh, guys, it's been a really shitty week. I just wanted to reiterate that. Trying to figure out what to do. Don't feel like I've been very successful. Because we didn't record a new show last week, I wasn't able to share that 2 Saturdays ago, I did the pro-democracy march in Westwood at the federal building. And several hundred people. It's hard to find any news reporting of this. People don't really care.
What is it? I don't think I understand.
It was just a march. It was organized on Facebook. Hundreds of people showed up. It must be because it was on Facebook. It was a lot of older people. I parked. My friend Greg is the one who's always telling me, okay, this march is happening. We should go. And one time he sent me something. I was like, I'm not going to the valley. He goes, it's not in the valley. It's near the airport. I'm like, I don't read. Okay. But I said, I think we need someplace closer with better parking. So when he came up with a march in Westwood, I thought, I'm going to do this. So I parked at the Hammer Museum. And we marched around in a big circle. People had signs. You know what I'm talking about, James. And it felt good. It didn't feel great because it wasn't.
Wait, what are you marching for or against? I missed
pro-democracy.
Pro-democracy.
Oh, that's sort of general, isn't it?
Not today. It's kind of the lead, the headline. It was at the federal building. It was about all the federal cuts. It was about the VA hospital. It was about
You know what's right there, though? Westwood Cemetery with Marilyn Monroe and Natalie Wood and Zsa Zsa Gabor and Truman Capote.
They did not march. I'll point that out right now.
That's my favorite cemetery right there. It's Kitty Corner from the Arm & Hammer Museum.
It's right near that old theater that I used
That's
to go
my
to.
drag name, Kitty Corner.
Oh, that was Kitty Litter.
No, it's actually Jenny Garth. But I also wanted to say April 5th at noon, lots of people are protesting at state capitals, and there's also a hands-off protest at Pico and Robertson on Saturday, 4 to 5:30.
And there's also one in Pershing Square. So go online. It's a hands-off mass mobilization Saturday, April 5th, but it's happening all over the country. And so I'm saying this out loud because it's so easy on the weekend to really be busy in the morning, have my coffee high, and then go take a nap. But I'm going to do this. I don't know what it leads to. I don't know if I'm helping or hurting. I feel like I'm too old to be doing this, but got to do something. March, make a noise. Let's build these things bit by bit, weekend by weekend.
Let's actually make America great again.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for that PSA from Tom. Now we are moving on to number 3.
Number 3.
I'm kind of obsessed with Collector's Call on MeTV. Do you know about this show with Lisa Welchel? And Lisa Welchel from Facts of Life. And she goes and visits people who have crazy collections of like Sean Cassidy collections or like Wonder Woman collections or something. And she had one the other week with a Bozo collection. Tom, Randy, did you grow up with Bozo?
Yes.
Yes, I was on Bozo, and it brought back all sorts of memories. My sister was in the hula hoop competition. I was too young to do anything. But, the thing about Bozo was that every state had its own Bozo.
Yes.
Like Detroit, Minneapolis, and everything. Well, this guy had, room after room after room with thousands of Bozo things. And I realized that I used to have a Bozo collection too when I was younger. I had like the hand puppets and the speak and spell and like I had a rug. I had completely blanked on all of this, and so I just
it's the beginning of your club kid career, I think.
I think so.
No, but you bring a good point. Bozo was huge. There couldn't have been anybody bigger than Bozo.
Yeah.
And now he's forgotten
everything. And then I started thinking, if I was ever on the show, like, what would my collection be? What do you guys collect? I collect Buster Crab memorabilia. I know we've talked on the show about this before. As you can see, I have a right there, Buster Crab, and we've talked, I know I've mentioned that Buster Crab was the only actor to play Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, Tarzan, and Billy the Kid in serials in the 1930s and 40s. And god damn was he handsome. And I have a whole shed full of Buster Crab signed things. I think I can I show you one thing that I do have real quick?
Please.
Are you wearing pants? Just be careful, James.
Oh my God.
This is my pride and joy right here. It's ray gun that he used in Buck Rogers, and it's signed right here. And the interesting thing about it is that they didn't use this.
Wait, for those of you not watching, James has just pulled out not memorabilia, but a framed autograph photo and a real ray gun. Like James is always complaining, I don't have money to do this, I can't do that. He's spending all his money on Buster Crab memorabilia.
It's true. But because it was pre-World War II, they didn't use plastic. So the gun is actually made of gunmetal, of steel. So it's like just crazy to me that
Where did you get that?
eBay. There's a Buster Crab circle. There's a group of us that trade.
Are you crabbers? Are you crab diggers? Are you crab?
Yeah. What did they call them?
Crab apples.
Crab apples.
Crab apple Annies.
I didn't know the headline I got that I think Randy's gonna badger me about after this is like, wait, MeTV has original programming. Why aren't we selling there? What's going on? On?
MeTV it has some really good stuff. So, Tom, what do you collect?
Oh, I used to collect, and I have them now just tucked away. I used snow globes.
Oh,
I
sure.
went everywhere I went. And I sort of proud of myself. They didn't have to be expensive. They just had to be but I backpacked through Europe after college in '86, like a bunch of countries, East Asia, whatever. And I collected I lived in a backpack and walked everywhere, and they were filled with water globes. But over like a decade or two, they started to get a little.
I bet you stank.
It wasn't like Howling Trails. If you've been watching the show,
what do you collect, Randy?
Rocks.
Oh, so pure.
It's rocks from the beach rocks. I know.
Sure.
I know.
And you have them in a little case, a little curio case?
I have lots and lots of them. And then once I have the kids, we also paint beach rocks.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Is your guest bedroom beach rock? Is your guest bathroom
beach rock
themed?
How did you know that?
That's what happens.
No, I have them all through the house, actually.
Right.
And you have a favorite?
I have a lot of favorites, but
do you name them?
no, I don't. It's not that interesting, but there's some really good ones.
Blake? What do you collect?
Vices.
Vices.
I mean, at various times, I collected lunch boxes. I collected comic books. I'm a big collector. I just, I also collect Oscar de la Renta jewelry from 2020 to 2004.
In my 20s, I was a big flea marketer, and I would do like Shriner stuff and McCoy pottery.
Oh, that's interesting.
When eBay came in, it kind of made it so easy to find it because it was all about tweaker. I wasn't tweaking, but it was all about like, I'm going to go to a parking lot that's 5 acres, and I'm going to find every piece of McCoy in this 2-acre area in the next 2 hours. But now it's like click, click, click. It seems less of a hunt. All right. Well, there we have it. We are now down to the coveted spot of number 2.
Number 2.
You guys, this will be really short, and I know it's been a shitty week. People talk about the power of love endlessly. I just wanted for one moment to talk about the power of hate, because that's what we're living in right now. And, that idea that, our president is hateful and he came from something triggered the hate. So he came from a hateful place, I'm sure, and he's, passing on the hate. But the great thing is, the positive to this is that I do think there is power in hate. And I think now the entire world hates him. And I think that can help us. I really, truly believe that, like, I don't know, you can't escape. Just the way the whole world has known how crazy he's been, but now he's doing that shit that doesn't just affect us. It's affecting everyone. And I think it's I would like to believe it might be the beginning of the end because of the power of hate.
I hear you. I like that. He's probably he's done the most, it's so cliche to do a Hitler example, but no one permeates the globe with such badness as Trump does. Do you know what I'm saying? And it does.
It's amazing that even today, when you see the cult, and they still think he's the best thing ever. Like, it just boggles the mind.
Because he frames things in a way that it's like a clarion call to really miserable, unhappy people who also harbor a kind of hatred. Yeah. And so
he taps into people's hate and people's fear. And that doesn't make them bad people necessarily. No. But it's a visceral thing that he's dog whistling to. And I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say, but it's just really a scary time. Anyway, The Power of Hate by Rainey Barbado. I want to hear a song by this time next week.
Uh-huh.
Power of Hate.
Didn't Delight have a song called The Power of Love? I think
and Huey Lewis had The Power of Love.
Power of
Love is a curious thing. Makes one man poor and another man sing, or something.
Yeah, your lyric recall is amazing, James. Thank you very much. All right. Well, we have another little break before we reveal the number one thing this week that made us go, wow. You're listening to the Wow Report on radio.
Didn't Celine Dion have a Power of Love, too?
Yeah, everyone did. Delight is, I believe in the power of love.
Yes. Okay. Oh, my God. I love that.
All right. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
We're back. It's the Wow Report. Taking its final lap, we have reached in our countdown number one, James.
Number one.
It was a bad week. It was a shitty week for Elon Musk. Thank God. He, I don't know if you saw in his little cheesehead hat where he tried to buy the Wisconsin Supreme Court and failed.
Yay!
After pouring in how many? 28 million, something like that. Yep. And he went on a little pity party tour too. After Tim Waltz was being gleeful about the fact that his Tesla stock was dropping. And he got teary-eyed on Fox and said, can you believe this man has such hate in his heart that he was making fun of my misery? Well, this is the man who took a chainsaw on stage and gleefully announced that he was cutting hundreds of thousands of jobs. So don't give me this performative pearl clutching bullshit about you being attacked. You poor man. I take glee in his downfall.
I saw a great political cartoon which says it all, which they had My Pillow guy weeping on his pillow, and then they had Elon weeping on his Tesla. Because I'll say this because Fenton's not here, because everything that Trump touches dies. Yeah. Anyway, it's crazy. It's hard, trying to bring pop culture here, trying to be light, talk about fun things, still allowed ourselves to be distracted. But this week has just been, I've been like 98% involved in what's going on politically and the tariffs and the craziness of what's going on. It's It's nuts. Anyway,
What
we'll
kind
be
of
here
a
next-
week would you call it, Tom?
I'd say it was a shitty week. It was just a shitty week. Let's leave it at that. Let's call this one the shitty week show in case we ever have to repeat it. Like, it's the shitty week show. Anyway, so glad you took the time to share the shitty week with us and the shitty hour of the shitty week. And we will be here next week carrying on. And thanks for joining us, like I said. And until we meet again, go out and do something that makes the world go wow. Shitty week.